millionaire alien mom screamed after seeing her paralyzed daughter walk again. Towering spires of glass and metal reached toward the stars, their surfaces reflecting the glow of hovering vehicles that zipped past with quiet hums. Everywhere one looked, the signs of alien prosperity were visible, technologies beyond imagination, and streets so clean they seemed polished by some unseen hand. Yet amid all this beauty, one home stood apart. It was a mansion perched on a hill overlooking the city, larger and more extravagant than any other, yet filled with a weight that no wealth could lift. Inside, Leora paced her private laboratory, her hands trembling despite the controlled environment around her. Her skin shimmered faintly in the soft light, a mark of her species' natural glow, but her eyes were dark pools of worry. For weeks now, she had watched her daughter, Nyla, lie motionless in a bed specially designed to support her tiny body. A week ago, a terrible accident had left Nyla paralyzed from the waist down. It had been a simple fall at first glance, but the internal damage to her spinal cords was severe, the kind that even the best alien doctors admitted was nearly impossible to reverse. Leora's heart ached with every sound Nyla made, a small groan of discomfort, a whisper of frustration. The room was filled with medical machines, each blinking and humming, tracking every heartbeat and nerve signal. Still, the machines could do nothing but monitor. They could not heal. They could not bring back the little girl who had once run and played across the mansion's sprawling gardens. "Mother," Nyla's voice, soft but trembling, reached her ears. Leora's chest tightened. "Yes, my love," she said, hurrying to her side. Her large hands gently brushed Nyla's hair back from her face, careful not to disturb the IV lines and tiny sensors attached to her. Nyla tried to smile, but it faltered. Will I ever walk again?" Her question hung in the air, heavy and desperate. Leora knelt beside her, forcing her voice to be calm, even as her own heart threatened to shatter. "We will find a way, Nyla. I promise you we will." Even as she spoke, doubt gnawed at her. Alien medicine was advanced, yes, but this kind of injury. Even she had never faced something so impossible. She had built her fortune on creating life-saving technologies for others, but now her wealth felt meaningless. The city could continue its shining life outside, and yet here she was, helpless against the smallest human tragedy, her daughter's suffering. Weeks passed. Leora spared no expense. Robotic assistants delivered specialized treatments every hour. Advanced nanobots swarmed Nyla's body in a controlled pattern, trying to stimulate nerve activity. Therapists, alien and human alike, came and went, applying pressure, stretching limbs, and speaking words of encouragement. Nyla endured all of it quietly, her eyes often fixed on the ceiling, lost in thought. Leora spent her nights reading every report, analyzing every experimental procedure she could find. She searched through alien medical archives, but nothing suggested a complete cure. One evening, when the city outside sparkled with the light of 1,000 hovering lanterns, she stumbled upon something that made her heart skip. "Human technology," she whispered, her fingers trembling as they hovered over a digital page. Humans. They were primitive in many ways, yet this report described something extraordinary. Nanobots capable of repairing spinal nerves completely, allowing paralyzed beings to walk again. Her heart raced. Could it be possible? Could the fragile species she had once dismissed as simple really have achieved a miracle? She needed to know. The next morning she called her personal assistant, a small, floating AI named Joran. "Prepare a private shuttle," she ordered, her voice sharp with urgency. "We are going to find these humans." Joran's holographic form blinked. "Are you certain, Leora? Human science is unpredictable. Their methods may not be compatible with Nyla's physiology." "I don't care," Leora said firmly. "I will take every risk. My daughter will walk again." The shuttle soared into the upper atmosphere of Zoria, leaving the glittering city below. As the stars stretched in endless lines around them, Leora allowed herself a moment of hope. For the first time since the accident, she imagined Nyla running again, laughter echoing through the mansion gardens. When they arrived at the human research facility, it was nothing like she had expected. Hidden in a swirling nebula, the installation appeared small, almost fragile among the storms of cosmic gas. Yet as she approached, she felt a strange energy, a kind of determination and ingenuity that seemed almost alive. The humans greeted her cautiously. They were unlike any aliens she had met, fragile, soft-skinned, yet their eyes burned with intelligence and purpose. Leora explained Nyla's case, showing them every medical record, every scan, every treatment she had tried. The lead scientist, a tall human named Dr. Harris, listened silently, his face unreadable. After a long pause, he spoke. "We can help, but it's risky. These nanobots have never been used on an alien nervous system before. The procedure could fail, or worse." Leora's jaw tightened. "I will not accept worse. My daughter will walk again. You either help me or step aside." Dr. Harris studied her for a long moment. Finally, he nodded. "Very well, but know this: recovery will require more than technology. It will require courage, patience, and determination. We will not do the walking for her. She must want it." Nyla, watching from her hoverbed, blinked slowly. She had never understood the humans' strange, fragile ways, but she understood one thing: they offered a chance. The tiniest spark of hope grew in her chest. Leora held her daughter's hand. "You will walk again, Nyla, and I will be there every step." The first treatment began. Tiny nanobots, glowing like liquid stars, flowed into Nyla's veins. They moved quickly, repairing damaged cells and connecting broken neural pathways. Machines hummed and beeped, recording every reaction, every pulse. Nyla winced at first, the sensation strange and ticklish. She gritted her teeth, determined to endure. Hours passed, then days. Progress was slow and frustration mounted. Nyla's legs twitched involuntarily at times, then grew stiff. Leora remained at her side, whispering encouragement, telling stories of Nyla's childhood adventures, reminding her of the laughter and joy she had known before the accident. One evening, Nyla whispered, "Mother, it hurts." Leora stroked her daughter's hair, tears glinting in her eyes. "I know, my love, but it is only pain for now. Soon you will feel strength instead. Remember, courage is stronger than fear." By the end of the first week, small sparks of movement appeared. Nyla's toes twitched and her legs flexed slightly. The humans cheered quietly, noting every milestone while Leora's heart soared. For the first time, she allowed herself to believe that her daughter might truly walk again. But Leora also knew the road ahead was long. She could not rush the process. Every nerve needed time, every muscle needed training, every mind needed courage. The accident had stolen more than mobility. It had stolen Nyla's confidence, her trust in the world. And restoring it would be the hardest challenge of all. That night, as Nyla slept, Leora stood by the window of the human facility. The nebula outside glowed in purples and blues, vast and mysterious. She whispered a promise to the stars. "No matter what it takes, I will bring you back, my daughter. I will not fail." In that moment, a faint smile crossed Nyla's lips in her sleep, as if even she sensed the determination and love surrounding her. And for the first time since the accident, hope shone brighter than fear. The galaxy outside was vast, full of wonders and dangers. Yet within this small room, love, courage, and a spark of human ingenuity had begun a miracle that no one, not even the most advanced alien technology, could achieve alone. Leora did not scream that night, but inside, a storm of emotions raged: fear, hope, love, and a burning determination. She knew the hardest battles were yet to come, but she also knew one truth: she would fight for her daughter across any star, through any danger, until Nyla walked again. And somewhere deep in the human research lab, tiny nanobots floated silently, beginning the work of miracles, guided by the unwavering hands of a mother who refused to accept impossible. The next morning, sunlight filtered through the glass walls of the human research facility. The nebula outside glowed softly, casting patterns of purple and blue across the floors. Leora stood beside Nyla's hoverbed, watching the small human doctors move with careful precision. Despite their size and fragility, their hands were steady, their eyes sharp with intelligence and focus. Leora had come to respect them quickly. Their knowledge of biotechnology was unlike anything she had ever seen. "Today is the first full session," said Dr. Harris, his human voice calm but firm. "The nanobots will begin repairing damaged nerves, but this is only the beginning. Nyla's body must cooperate, and so must her mind. She must want to move, must believe she can walk." Nyla, wrapped in a blanket and still quiet, looked at her mother. I want to walk, Mother," she whispered. Her voice was small, but Leora saw a flicker of determination in her wide eyes. "Then we begin," Leora said, squeezing her daughter's hand. "No fear, only courage. You are stronger than you know." The doctors adjusted the nanobot infusion. Tiny robots, glowing like starlight, flowed into Nyla's veins. They moved swiftly, repairing broken nerve connections and stimulating the damaged spinal cord. Leora watched the monitors closely. Every twitch, every pulse was a sign of progress. At first there was little change. Nyla's legs remained limp and her hands clutched the edges of the hoverbed in frustration. Pain shot through her muscles, strange and sharp, as the nanobots did their work. She bit her lip and refused to cry, but tears slid down her cheeks anyway. "Pain is a sign that your body is waking up," Dr. Harris explained gently. "The nanobots are repairing the nerves, and nerves feel pain when they grow. That is normal. You must endure it." Leora knelt beside her daughter, brushing the damp hair from her forehead. "I am here, Nyla. You are not alone. Take a deep breath. We are together." The hours passed slowly. Nyla's body twitched as the nanobots stimulated nerve endings, making her legs jerk involuntarily. Sometimes she screamed from the shock and Leora's heart sank. But she never left her side, whispering encouragement, holding her hand, reminding her daughter of the sunlight in their garden, the laughter of their friends, the stories of her own childhood. By the end of the first day, the smallest signs appeared. Nyla's toes curled slightly when she willed them, and her knees twitched involuntarily. The humans watched the monitors in quiet awe. "She's responding faster than we expected," Dr. Harris murmured to his assistant. "The nanobots are adapting to her alien biology. Her determination is remarkable," the assistant replied. "I have never seen such a young patient endure this much pain without giving up." Leora overheard this and smiled softly. "That is my daughter," she whispered. "She is stronger than anyone knows." The next days were a mixture of struggle and tiny victories. Nyla experienced strange sensations, tingling, numbness, bursts of energy that shocked her body. Sometimes she could move her feet slightly. Other times she would lie still for hours, exhausted from the effort. But every twitch was celebrated. Leora documented everything, taking notes, recording the smallest movements, every pulse of life returning to her daughter. One evening, Nyla tried to lift her right leg. It wobbled and fell back onto the bed. "I can't," she cried, frustration and fear mingling in her voice. "Yes, you can," Leora said firmly, though her own voice trembled. "Try again. You have the strength. You only need to believe." Nyla hesitated, then tried again. This time the leg lifted a little higher and she felt a strange thrill of victory. Leora's heart leapt and she clapped softly. "That's it. That's my brave girl." Encouraged, Nyla repeated the exercise with increasing determination. Slowly, day by day, she began to feel her legs responding. The nanobots worked with precision, but it was Nyla's courage and desire to walk that truly powered the progress. Leora stayed awake with her daughter each night, whispering words of hope, telling stories of past adventures, reminding her of the world she had once known. "Do you remember the garden?" Leora asked one night. "How you used to run among the flowers?" Nyla's eyes brightened. Yes, I remember the roses and the little fountain. Exactly, Leora said. That is what you will see again. You will run, you will play, and nothing will stop you. Weeks passed. Nyla's muscles grew stronger, her legs responding more reliably. The nanobots had repaired most of the spinal damage, but the real challenge was now learning to balance, to walk again. She stumbled, fell, and sometimes screamed in frustration, but she never gave up. Leora's love and patience carried her through every setback. One day, Dr. Harris suggested a new approach. It's time to introduce assisted walking, he said. We will use an exoskeleton frame to support her legs. With this, she can start practicing real steps. Nyla's eyes widened. Steps? She asked, both excited and scared. Yes, Leora said, her voice firm with encouragement. You will take steps, my love, and I will be with you every moment. The exoskeleton was fitted carefully. Wires and sensors connected to her legs, and Nyla felt the strange, heavy support beneath her. The first attempts were awkward. She stumbled, fell, and cried, but Leora held her up, never letting go. Again, she said, her voice steady. Again and again. You can do this. Slowly, the movements became more coordinated. Nyla's steps grew longer, steadier. Leora's eyes filled with tears as she watched her daughter push through exhaustion and fear. Each small victory was a triumph. At night, as Nyla rested, she whispered to her mother, I feel alive again. Leora kissed her forehead. You are alive, my Nyla. And soon you will run. The humans marveled at the progress. I have never seen such rapid recovery, Dr. Harris admitted. It is the combination of our technology and her willpower, truly remarkable. Leora smiled proudly. It is the strength of a mother and daughter. That is the true power. Despite progress, challenges remained. Nyla's nerves were still fragile and the risk of setbacks was always present. But every small movement, every tiny step, reminded Leora why she had refused to accept defeat. She had crossed galaxies, defied medical councils, and faced the unknown, all for this chance. One morning, Nyla lifted herself onto the exoskeleton, wobbling but determined. She took one step, then another. Her laughter rang out, high and joyful, echoing through the lab. Leora's eyes filled with tears. That's it, my brave girl, Nyla fell, giggling, and Leora caught her. Again, she said softly. We will keep going, and one day you will walk without this frame. In the nebula outside, stars shimmered like witnesses to the miracle unfolding within the lab. Nyla's journey was far from over, but each day brought progress, each moment filled with hope. And through it all, Leora remained steadfast, never letting doubt enter her heart. Together, mother and daughter faced the long path ahead. With human technology, alien determination, and unbreakable love, they had begun a journey that would change everything, both for Nyla and for the galaxy that would one day hear of her incredible recovery. For now, Nyla learned to move, and Leora, holding her daughter's hand, whispered one promise that would guide them through the hardest battles yet. I will not let you fall, my love. Not now. Not ever. The lab was quiet except for the soft hum of machines monitoring Nyla's progress. Sunlight from the nebula outside cast shifting patterns across the floor, dancing over Leora's anxious face as she watched her daughter prepare for another session. This was no ordinary day. Today, Nyla would attempt steps without the full support of the exoskeleton, a test that could be both exhilarating and terrifying. Mother, Nyla's voice trembled. I'm scared. Leora's glowing hands clasped her daughter's. I know, my love. It is okay to be afraid. Courage does not mean you feel no fear. It means you move forward even when you are afraid. Nyla nodded, taking a deep breath. She felt the weight of the moment pressing on her chest. Every step she took today could fail, but it could also bring her closer to freedom. The nanobots within her veins worked tirelessly, repairing nerves, strengthening muscles, but the final step, literally, was hers to take. The human scientists adjusted the sensors around her spine and legs. We've calibrated everything, Dr. Harris said. Your legs are ready. Your body is ready. Now it's your mind. Nyla's small fingers gripped the edge of the parallel bars they had set up for support. She felt a shiver run through her body as she remembered the weeks of pain, the nights spent in frustration, the moments when she wanted to give up. She shook her head. "No, I won't quit." Leora's eyes shimmered with tears. "That's my brave girl. You can do this." Slowly, carefully, Nyla lifted her right leg. It wobbled, shaking as if unsure whether it belonged to her. She set it down again, feeling a pang of fear. But Leora's hand was there, steady and warm, and it gave her courage. She tried again. The leg moved just a little. And then another, and another. Her left leg followed, trembling but obedient. Nyla took 3 shaky steps. Her heart pounded in her chest as a thrill of triumph surged through her. I'm walking," she whispered, her voice full of disbelief. Leora gasped, tears streaming down her cheeks. Yes, yes, Nyla, you are walking." But it was not easy. Nyla's muscles ached, her legs threatened to buckle, and the nanobots inside her worked overtime to keep up with her nervous system. She stumbled, fell to her knees, and screamed in frustration. The room went silent except for the hum of machines, each monitoring her vital signs. "Mother," she cried, "I can't do it." Leora lifted her daughter into her arms, holding her close. "Yes, you can, my love. You have come so far, you are stronger than you know. We will try again." After a few minutes of rest, Nyla returned to the parallel bars. Her legs shook, but she held her head high. She remembered the stories her mother had told her, the laughter of their past, the joy of running through their garden. She remembered the promise she had made to herself. She would walk again. Step by step, Nyla moved forward. One foot in front of the other, her determination growing with every tremble. Leora's voice echoed beside her, calm and strong. "That's it, my brave girl. Keep going. I am with you." The humans watched silently, astonished by the sheer resilience of the young alien child. "Her mind is stronger than any of us expected," Dr. Harris whispered to his assistant. "The nanobots do the work, yes, but it is her courage that moves her forward." Hours passed, and Nyla continued to practice. She stumbled often, but each time she fell, she got up again, encouraged by her mother's unwavering presence. By the end of the day, she could walk 10 steps without support, a small miracle compared to where she had begun. That night, Leora sat beside her daughter's bed, brushing her hair. "I am so proud of you, Nyla. You have faced pain, fear, and doubt, and you have conquered them all." Nyla smiled weakly. "Mother, will I ever run again?" Leora held her close, feeling the warmth of her daughter's tiny body against her own. "Yes, my love. One day you will run faster than the wind. You will laugh, dance, and play. But first, we take one step at a time." The following weeks were filled with hard work. Nyla's legs grew stronger, her balance improved, and the nanobots adapted perfectly to her alien physiology. Leora supervised every session, recording data, adjusting treatments, and encouraging Nyla when frustration threatened to overwhelm her. There were setbacks, of course. One day, Nyla's muscles cramped painfully, forcing her to pause for an entire day. Another time, she lost her balance and fell, scraping her knees against the floor. Tears welled up, and for a moment she wanted to give up. But Leora's voice reminded her of everything she had already accomplished. "You have come so far, Nyla. You have walked before when no one thought it was possible. Do not let fear stop you now. You are strong. You are brave. You are my daughter, and nothing can hold you back." The words filled Nyla with courage. She rose from the floor, her trembling legs supporting her again. Step by step, she walked across the room, her laughter echoing through the lab. One day, during a particularly challenging session, Nyla attempted to climb the small stairs the scientists had prepared. Her legs shook violently, and she nearly fell several times, but she refused to give up. With Leora's guidance and the support of the nanobots, she made it to the top, standing tall with arms raised in triumph. Leora's heart swelled with pride. She had seen many great achievements in her lifetime, but nothing compared to this moment. Her daughter, once paralyzed and hopeless, now stood tall, defying every expectation. "You did it, Nyla," Leora exclaimed, tears streaming down her face. "You are amazing. You have done what no one thought possible." Nyla giggled, a sound of pure joy. "I did it, Mother, with you." The humans nodded, impressed. "This is extraordinary," Dr. Harris said. "We have seen miracles before, but never one so complete. Your daughter's spirit is truly remarkable." Leora hugged Nyla tightly. "It is her courage, her determination, and her heart. She never gave up." Days turned into weeks, and Nyla's walking improved steadily. She could now take dozens of steps without assistance. Her laughter returned, filling the once silent mansion with light and happiness. Leora's life, which had been consumed by worry and fear, was now filled with hope and love. Yet even as Nyla's body healed, Leora knew the final test had not yet come. The moment when her daughter would walk freely, without any support at all, loomed ahead. It would require perfect balance, courage, and trust in her own body. But Leora believed in Nyla. She believed in the strength of the human technology, and above all, she believed in the power of love. One morning, Leora led Nyla to the center of the lab. The exoskeleton and parallel bars were removed. Only a soft mat lined the floor beneath her. Nyla's eyes widened, fear and excitement mingling in their depths. "Mother, can I really do it?" she asked, trembling. "Yes, my love," Leora said softly. "I will be right here. You can do it, one step at a time." Nyla took a deep breath and lifted her right foot. It wobbled, then found the floor. Her left foot followed. She moved forward slowly, carefully, each step a triumph of courage over fear. Leora's hands were just behind her, ready to catch her if she fell, but Nyla's balance held. The lab held its breath as she continued. Step by step, Nyla walked farther than ever before. Her laughter rang out, pure and bright, echoing through the nebula-lit facility. Leora's voice trembled with emotion as she cheered. "You did it! You are walking! You are amazing, Nyla!" Nyla spun around and ran, carefully at first, then with growing confidence. Leora screamed, a sound of pure joy and relief, as she watched her daughter move freely for the first time since the accident. Tears streamed down Leora's face. The impossible had become reality. Her daughter, once paralyzed and hopeless, was walking, and soon she would run. And in that moment, Leora knew that nothing, no accident, no challenge, no fear, could ever stop the bond between a mother and her child. Together, they had achieved a miracle, one that would be remembered across galaxies for generations. The sun rose over Zoria, casting golden light across the spires of the city. From her mansion on the hill, Leora could see the streets alive with vehicles, markets, and laughter. But inside, the greatest story was unfolding, one that would outshine any grandeur of the city below. Nyla, her daughter, was ready for her final test, the moment she would walk freely without support, without exoskeletons, without anyone holding her hand. Leora stood beside Nyla in the lab, her eyes brimming with tears. "Are you ready, my love?" she asked softly. Nyla nodded, her small hands trembling slightly. I think so, Mother. I am ready." The human scientists and their assistants watched silently. Over the past weeks, they had witnessed a miracle. The nanobots repairing alien nerves, muscles regaining strength, and most importantly, a young girl discovering courage she did not know she possessed. Dr. Harris approached Nyla with a reassuring smile. "Remember, Nyla, you are ready. Your body is strong, your mind is brave, and your heart is stronger than any obstacle. Take your first step and trust yourself." Nyla took a deep breath. She closed her eyes for a moment and thought of the garden back home, of the laughter she had once shared, of the running she had dreamed of. She imagined her mother's face smiling at her, unwavering and full of love. Then, opening her eyes, she lifted her right foot. Her legs shook, but she felt the strength inside her. She placed her foot on the floor, the left followed. Step by step, she moved forward. At first her movements were wobbly, tentative, but she refused to stop. Leora's hands hovered behind her, ready to catch her if she fell, but Nyla did not falter. Her balance improved with each step. The room was silent except for the soft hum of machines and the rhythmic beat of Nyla's own heart. Then slowly, she began to pick up speed. One step became two, two became four, four became a small run. Leora screamed, a sound of pure joy and relief as tears streamed down her glowing face. "You did it! Nyla, you are walking! You are running!" she shouted, holding her hands to the sky. Nyla spun around, her laughter echoing through the lab. "Mother, I'm doing it! I'm really doing it!" The human scientists exchanged amazed glances. "I have never seen anything like this," Dr. Harris said, his voice full of awe. "Her determination combined with our technology, it's incredible, truly remarkable." Leora ran to her daughter, scooping her up in a tight embrace. "My brave girl, you have done the impossible. You walked when no one thought it was possible, and now you run." Nyla giggled, her arms wrapped around her mother's neck. "I never would have done it without you, Mother. You never gave up on me." Leora held her close, tears still streaming. "I will never give up on you, Nyla. Never. You are my life, my heart, and my courage." Outside the lab, the news had already begun to spread. Human and alien alike were hearing of the miracle. A young alien girl, paralyzed for weeks, now walking and running thanks to human technology and a mother's love. Messages of admiration and congratulations began to pour in. But for Leora and Nyla, the greatest triumph was not fame. It was freedom, hope, and life regained. The next days were filled with laughter, joy, and celebrations within the mansion. Nyla ran through the gardens, her legs strong, her balance perfect. Flowers bent under her feet and fountains sparkled as she raced past them. Leora watched, her heart swelling with pride and happiness. She had never imagined a moment like this could be possible. The human scientists stayed to observe and record the final stages of Nyla's recovery. They marveled at how quickly she adapted, how her confidence grew, and how seamlessly the nanobots integrated with her alien biology. Together, humans and aliens discussed future collaborations, sharing technology to heal, improve, and save lives across galaxies. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting orange and purple hues across the city, Leora and Nyla sat together in the mansion garden. Nyla's small feet dug into the soft grass as she recounted every small victory, every step she had taken alone. "Mother," she said softly, "do you think other children like me could walk again?" Leora smiled, her eyes warm with love. "Yes, Nyla. With courage, determination, and the right help, anything is possible. And soon, many others will have the same chance you had. Your journey is the start of something bigger than you or me. It is a message to the whole galaxy." Nyla hugged her mother tightly. "I want to help them too." "And you will," Leora said. "We will make sure that no one else has to feel the fear and helplessness we felt. Together, humans and aliens, we can create miracles." The next morning, a holographic message from the Galactic Council arrived at Leora's mansion. They had heard of Nyla's recovery and wanted to commend Leora for her perseverance and the collaboration between human and alien technology. It was unprecedented. An alien child healed not just by advanced medicine, but by love, determination, and interspecies cooperation. Leora stood before the hologram, holding Nyla's hand. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We have shown that with courage, hope, and cooperation, nothing is impossible." Nyla smiled up at her mother. "I believe it, Mother, and I will keep walking, I will keep running, and I will help others do the same." In the weeks that followed, Nyla became an inspiration across the galaxy. Her story was told in cities, schools, and laboratories. Humans and aliens alike celebrated her courage and resilience. Leora's biotech company partnered with human scientists to create treatments for spinal injuries, making life-saving technology available to those in need. The impossible had become possible, and hope spread like wildfire. One afternoon, as Nyla ran through the mansion gardens, Leora called her over. Nyla skidded to a stop, laughing, her arms wide with excitement. "My brave girl," Leora said, kneeling to her level. "Do you remember the first day you tried to walk?" Nyla nodded, her eyes sparkling. "Yes, I was so scared, I thought I couldn't do it." "But you did," Leora said, tears welling. "You walked, you ran. You showed everyone that even when the world says it's impossible, courage and love can create miracles." Nyla hugged her tightly. "I will never forget, Mother. And I will always try, no matter what." In that moment, Leora realized something profound. The galaxy was vast, full of danger, wonders, and mysteries. Yet, even in the darkest moments, love and determination could shine brighter than any star. Humans had provided the technology. Aliens had embraced the challenge. But it was the bond between mother and daughter that had truly achieved the miracle. As the sun set over Zoria, painting the sky with colors of fire and hope, Leora held Nyla's hand and whispered, "You are my greatest miracle, and together we will make miracles for others." Nyla looked up at her mother, eyes wide with determination. "Yes, Mother. Together we can do anything." And for the first time since the accident, Leora felt a peace she had never known. Her daughter walked, her daughter ran. And through courage, love, and perseverance, they had changed the galaxy, not with power or money, but with the true strength of the human spirit, mirrored in the heart of an alien child. The mansion echoed with laughter, the gardens danced with movement, and the galaxy knew that hope, courage, and love could overcome even the greatest obstacles. Leora smiled, holding her daughter close, tears glinting like stars in her eyes. "We did it, Nyla. You did it." "We did it together," Nyla beamed. "Yes, Mother, together forever." And in that shining moment, the impossible became reality.